Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick, but most importantly, this is the home of the upset. This is the home of the plus 400 odds, and you take home the money. Let's get to the week 10 upsets. Last week, we were close. We got the Giants, and I want to start with the Giants again. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Philly's favored by -3, -3.5, depending on the bookie you're going with. And when I'm looking at this, I'm just saying, firstly, this Philadelphia team's really inconsistent. And I don't want to bash Carson Wentz because there's more problems on this offense than Carson Wentz. But the turnovers are always a problem with Philadelphia. And even if they're performing well, which we know how inconsistent they are, it's very rare that they come out and play well. Even when they're playing well, we see them keep teams in games. We see the turnovers. We see Carson Wentz taking sacks and putting his team in bad positions. And Philadelphia, they've been trying to run it more, but here's the matchup against the Giants. I don't think they'll be able to run it against the Giants. I think this Giants front seven's playing good, inspired, tough football, and I think this Giants front seven stops this Philadelphia Eagles run game. And then you make Carson Wentz one-dimensional. And that's where I think the turnovers come into play. And we have to give this Giants team credit. They've been playing good football. And finally, they got the win they deserved because they've been playing pretty decent football, coming up close, but not getting the win. And I think the Giants continue that. I think the positive momentum continues. Now, here's where I worry. I worry a little bit about this Giants offense, of course, but the Giants, they need to run the ball. We know Saquon's out. Saquon's not walking on that field, but I think if the Giants can run it and give Daniel Jones a little bit of balance, I think the plays will come. And I see a similar score of how they beat the Washington football team. I see like a 23-20. I see a 2017 scoreline, and that would work against the Eagles. I think the Giants defense performs better than the Eagles defense. That's why this is an upset. Next upset I want to talk about, and I'm actually feeling this one. And this one might be crazier than the Broncos against the Patriots earlier this year when everyone threatened to unsubscribe my page for me giving my opinion. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the New Orleans Saints. The spread is 9.5. Depends on which bookie you're looking to. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not getting that emotional flurry about New Orleans. But I think San Francisco is going to make this a game. I think this is a one-possession game, and I absolutely love San Fran to cover this spread. Now, of course, we need to look at what is happening during the week. We need to look at the injuries. We need to look at the COVID issues that the 49ers are facing. But they should get Garoppolo back. They should have Deebo Samuel, and hopefully they'll have a healthy running back. If they have a healthy running back, I think they'll be able to run it. I think they'll be able to get play action going, and that always gives you a chance to win. And one thing that this is just about the world now. This is a statement about the world now, but this is also a statement about the NFL. People get too over emotional. People take one game too seriously. Yes, the Saints were impressive. Yes, you got Mike Thomas back. Yes, the Saints just blew out maybe the best team in this league. I'm not underplaying it, but any given Sunday it's not just a lazy phrase that we all throw around. It is true. It's a battle every single Sunday. So people thinking the Saints are going to come out here and win by 20 or 30 points are absolutely delusional. This is an Alamo game for the 49ers. And when I say Alamo game, I'm saying last stand, season on the line. Respect and dignity on the line. They're going to come out and play tough. They're going to come out and play physical. San Fran will be in this game, and I would not be surprised if they got this upset. The weakness of San Fran has always been their secondary. That is the only thing that is stopping me from telling you to run and just put 1,000 on San Fran to win. That is the only thing stopping me right now. Let's follow the injuries. Let's keep diligent about this game, but I see an opportunity here. Even if you're more conservative like me, I see the opportunity for San Fran to cover. Another upset people want me to talk about, the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are -5. And I know a lot of you were feeling that Denver pick against the Falcons last week, and I told you to keep cautious about it. I know what you're saying here. This is set up, but the Raiders are just playing too good football right now, and I would not bet this. And Drew Lock, he has shown some flashes, but he's too inconsistent at times. And like I've been saying this whole year, this Raiders defense is better than you think. Just because Tom Brady tore up this Raiders defense doesn't mean it's the Raiders defense from 2, 3, 4 years ago. And the thing about the Raiders that is really, I've been on the Raiders bandwagon all year, but the thing that's really getting me excited is Carr's playing better and Carr's playing smarter football. And I feel like Chucky and Carr have a good symbiosis going. That's why I don't see this upset. I do not see this Denver upset. I wanted to talk about it because I know some of you are rather tempted by it. I know a lot of you guys are going to be talking about Houston against Cleveland. No, Cleveland's going to win and cover that game. Houston is better now that they got rid of Bill O'Brien, but how much? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. And yes, we like hating on the Browns, who won a lot of money betting against the Browns this year, but now isn't the week. If anything, I think this is the Browns game. And I want to talk about one big upset I have brewing here. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at Pittsburgh Steelers, and I should say our Cincinnati Bengals, because this show and even the subscribers here, we've never underestimated the Bengals, and I'm not underestimating them this game. There is just something magical about Joe Burrow. You don't know, he doesn't have the strongest arm, he doesn't have the best mobility, he doesn't have the best pocket presence, but his skill set, when you warp it together, it really is a force of nature. He lifts everyone's play around him. Maybe it's the leadership, maybe it's the confidence he has. I can't really put my foot on it, but when you have him, you always have a fighting chance, even against a very good team like Pittsburgh. And then we're looking at what's going on in Pittsburgh this week. A disappointing performance against Dallas, and then we're seeing Big Ben can't practice because of COVID protocols. We're seeing Pittsburgh get stuck in this COVID mud, so to speak. So I do think that will have an effect on preparation. And now we're seeing Cincinnati finally get healthy. They should get 2 starting offensive linemen back. They didn't have them against Tennessee when they upset Tennessee. They should be getting Joe Mixon back. And Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow, it's one of the best quarterback-running back combinations in this league, and they have good symbiosis, especially in the pass game. And that's where I think you need to attack Pittsburgh. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be running it, but I think Cincinnati will take advantage of Joe Mixon matched up against these Pittsburgh linebackers who don't cover all that great. I think that's where Cincinnati makes some movement in this game. And this Cincinnati defense, I'm not high on it. I'm not writing home and saying it's good, but it is young, it is hungry, and they do play with high effort. I think they can make a game of this, and I really think Cincinnati could shock the world once again. I'm really looking forward to this Bengals team, and I'm looking forward to how this plays out. All right, so we have some other upsets to consider. Seattle, I picked the Rams. I wasn't really too high on that upset. Upset I want to tell you guys, do not. New England against Baltimore. I'm going to look into this camera. I'm going to get real close. If you bet this, you are absolutely insane. If you bet this, do not come to this channel again. Baltimore will win in the cover. Save your money. Use it for more useful bets. This is not a game to chase. This is not a game to say, oh, the hoodie. Oh, they beat the Jets. They're coming on strong. No, they aren't good enough. And the thing we need to remember is Cam Newton's actually been playing pretty good football. He played pretty good against the Bills. He played pretty good against the Jets. And he's had decent moments this year. But we need to understand there's absolutely nothing on this team. And Baltimore they're kind of in the fine wine mode. They're a team that's looking towards the Super Bowl. They're not looking towards the division. They're not looking towards the first round of the playoffs. This is a team that's looking towards the Super Bowl, and you saw in the second half against the Colts. Ravens are getting better by the minute, and I don't think New England is. New England just has too many problems, and they're even starting to have problems on defense. I want you to stay the hell away from this game and don't even consider it. When we do the live call-in show Friday, I don't even want to see one question from someone thinking New England can get this upset. That's why I dedicated time to it. You got the Bills at Arizona. That's maybe a little bit of an upset. What is it? Arizona -2.5, -1.5. I think Bills win that game. Not that that's that huge an upset. Arizona's defense isn't playing good enough to make me feel comfortable, and I have to show the Bills a little bit of respect after what they did to Seattle last week. Seattle did not give them a lot of resistance at all. No resistance on defense. But you still have to give the Bills credit for coming out there and breaking Seattle's will. And are there any other games? Tampa and Carolina. I know we're going to get a lot of talk about that. I don't see it. I do not see it. Christian McCaffrey out of the game today. Everyone wants to bury the Bucs. Everyone wanted to bury him after they lost to the Saints week 1. Everyone wanted to bury him after they lost to the Bears. But at a certain point, we need to take a deep breath and understand this team is in transition. They're trying to work in people like Antonio Brown mid-season. One thing Tampa Bay will do different to avoid this upset, Tampa Bay is going to run this rock. I think they only ran it 5 or 6 times against the Saints. That wasn't good enough. Bruce Arians deserves to be called out for that. Everyone wants to call out Brady. Everyone wants to call out Bowles in this defense. But Bruce Arians deserves to be called out for only 5 rushing attempts or 6. That's pathetic. And in grown man football, when you have 2 pretty good teams, you cannot pull that stuff. Tampa Bay wins. I don't think Carolina gets this close. I know you guys are tempted by Carolina's performance against the Chiefs last week. We all know one thing about Carolina. They're not an easy out, and they play harder than any team in this league. I don't think that's enough to beat the Buccaneers. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos, the best gambling show on the internet.